If you like what you watch, then don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for the latest updates on The More Show. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for new weekly television and radio shows.
My next guest is Doctor of Oriental Medicine, Dr. Robin Falkov. Robin has practiced homeopathy for over 25 years and is licensed in traditional Chinese and herbal medicine. Her main focus is in making people aware of the choices available to achieve optimal health care. Dr. Robin Falkov, welcome to the show. You're a homeopathic doctor. What brought you into this field?
Great question. It's a pleasure to be here with you, Kevin. Years ago, I had friends that were, I guess they followed a macrobiotic lifestyle. And we had just moved to Florida, so they were our neighbors. And with a throat infection for the vocal cords that didn't respond to Western medicine, my neighbor made a suggestion, and she said, try this. I didn't know what it was, so I tried it and it worked. Had I known, I would have thought, that doesn't make sense. But trying it and having it work led me on a whole other path to explore that further.
And, you know, can you cure cancer by using homeopathic remedies?
Oh gosh, there's a clinic in El Salvador, and they use a product called Briomixol. It's a homeopathic remedy, and Dr. Cesar Bertocchini, he's an MD, board-certified oncologist. He's worked with patients and cancer patients for over 25 years. His partner, one of the main partners in the clinic, is Dr. Fernando Basail, and they have had extraordinary results. These are all published at their site. I have all this information linked at my site, but these are homeopathic remedies that have come from Germany that work on immune support. You want to stimulate the immune system to strengthen it so that the body activates its own protective mechanisms for healing.
And what do they use to cure cancer? I mean, what's the, the mechanism behind it? You know, for example, is it guided visualization?
Okay, well, when you think, one of the images that has been used for guided visualization, you have Dr. Bernie Siegel, who's very famous for the work that he's done with that. That was starting back, I believe, in the 70s and 80s. And Louise Hayes, who has a big publishing company, lectures about health. They used guided visualization, and they've worked with children as well as adults. So the more clearly you are able to visualize what goes on in your body, the better the picture is painted in your mind, the better the response that you can marshal from your body. With children, for example, they'll say, you've got the soldiers, you've got your white blood cells marching to the battle, and your red blood cells coming for support, you know, with all the ammunition. And the children can picture that, and they picture whatever the condition is, but what they've learned, you don't make that condition the enemy, because your body is working to achieve balance. And when it has been insulted by so many toxins or harmful chemicals or disease components, it has responded in a certain way. So you want to get into that supposed battle to work with the body, overcoming that response, because you clear the field and restore the health once again by getting the immune system activated.
And what devices do you use to activate the immune system?
With homeopathy, which is the beauty of it, which is why it is my first choice, you are treating like with like. The similar remedy with a similar treatment. And what you find, for example, if you have a group of people that are all presenting with arthritis, someone might have back pain where they can't move, someone might have hard nodular deposits on their knuckles, someone might have fatigue more so because of the pain, but they might share some symptoms, but some symptoms are more pronounced. So what you do with a very thorough workup and my workups take 3 hours at least to review a history, you want to identify those main symptoms and address them. And when you address them, you're able to get to the root cause and bring healing and relief. So the substances can be from plants, from minerals, they can be from diseased tissue, which would be called a nosode, from your own body tissue. Let's say if the liver needs help or the lungs, you could use actual lung tissue. There are many different modalities in homeopathy, and homeopathy is tiny amounts to stimulate, because we have seen that large amounts suppress. Allopathic medicine suppresses symptoms. If you suppress symptoms, the problem gets driven deeper within the body and it will manifest somewhere else. We have an epidemic of asthma around the world because so many children, when they have a skin rash and the skin connects with the lungs, you find these children are given steroids to suppress the inflammation, and the skin rash goes away, but later they have breathing problems. You try to suppress that, they wind up with asthma where they're overly sensitized. That's a simple example. There are many more.
Now, Dr. Falkov, just tell me about your work with light-emitting diode technology.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. One of my big areas of interest for the past 6 years has been light-emitting diode technology. And I have a very dear friend and colleague, Harry Whalen, who is a neurologist. He's in the NASA Hall of Fame. When I was doing my research, the one name I came across, Dr. Harry Whalen, and the big, impressive data that he showed through peer-review, double-blind studies was that the application of light-emitting diodes using infrared and far infrared in the 630 to 680 nanometer wavelength would stimulate cellular mitochondrial production of adenosine triphosphate. And that's the fuel that powers your muscles, your nerves, your brain function, and you have all these little organelles that are mitochondria, the equivalent to little machines inside of each cell. And great technology. I can show you the machines.
Please do.
So in the United States, we have this technology, light-emitting diodes, and we have this around the world. It's not just in the United States. And I've had so many calls from people who bought the equipment and they've said, Dr. Falkov, it's not working. It's only lit every other line. That's far infrared. That's the near infrared. But what this does is what I just explained. It generates that potent energy in that wavelength, and it stimulates the body to kick in with that cellular response. You are giving the body the food it needs, the fuel it needs. There is so much research, and much research out of Germany, I guess originally, about biophotonic energy and the communication with the body on a cellular level using biophotons. So why I like this unit is because I can do this. And I can wrap it around my wrist, a patient's wrist. There are Velcro pads that come with it. You can have an adapter and use it in the car when you're driving. It's versatile. I travel with it everywhere. I use it for myself, for my two-legged patients, and my four-legged patients. And LED technology was used originally with racehorses. And people that had the horses saw that they were getting such a great therapeutic effect for their horses, they thought, I should try this for myself. So we have a lot to thank veterinary medicine for. This also is used for facial rejuvenation, for aesthetic applications, stimulating collagen production, for dental issues, periodontal disease, sprains, strains, many applications. And my goal is to see this alongside every automatic electronic defibrillator in an airport, at a soccer game, at a school sports event, in the gymnasium, everywhere.
So does this have a sort of immediate effect?
Yes, it does have an immediate effect. And we are technically able to explain that this is for the temporary relief of pain and increased circulation. So that is the explanations that can be given in accord with the FDA and how this is submitted. And the stories I have had from patients have been dramatic. One patient who is a photographer who traveled around the country finding old railroad stations and lots of driving and lots of low back pain. He had this plugged in and he said, I can't believe it. For the first time, I could drive for hours without any problem. And it was from using the unit.
And what is the best way to use it?
I have two different units that I work with. This model is the first unit. I've worked with it for 6 years now, and I had, from my research and from going to expos and events where they showed other equipment, I had not found a therapeutic effect with other equipment that I had witnessed and tried and asked other people about their experience. Or it might have been slower. This unit, you have a 15-minute application direct to the skin or a 30-minute application. There is that period of time, the 15 or 30 minutes, where the cells become saturated with that light energy and they cannot hold more. So the application further would not be beneficial. This unit does not have the frequencies. The light is a white light. It's much smaller. It has to be handheld. There's ventilation in the back because it's powerful, but you must hold it. This you can lay on the pad and wrap it around, as I showed you before. This one has cycles of 4 minutes, and 3 4-minute cycles for a total of 12 minutes will saturate the cells with the energy of the light. So this unit will sell for, it sells for just under $400 plus shipping. This unit is $850. I have another unit that has a larger pad. Then they have one that covers the back. I don't have that unit. I have patients that have that unit. The company actually makes boots for diabetics because all of the circulatory problems can be avoided. They don't have to have their bodies chopped up. A diabetic doesn't have to lose their toes and parts of their feet because it increases the circulation so dramatically. So there are so many benefits. It's just getting this mainstream, and that's my goal. People need to learn and have access to the information about this.
Dr. Robin Falkov, it's time to take a break there, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Visit themoreshow.co.uk/shop to purchase products and services from your favourite past guests. If you're new to this site, you can also catch up on the previous television and radio shows through YouTube and the More Show website.
Welcome back to the More Show. I'm still joined here with Dr. Robin Falkov. Now, Robin, just tell me about injection therapy.
Yeah. It's using those substances that will stimulate your own immune system to respond by having your cells create those substances that help with healing, that help with producing collagen. So you would use like, treating like. So you would use a homeopathic formula with collagen and with vitamins added and very minute amounts. And when you put that in the local area, that will stimulate that area to regenerate.
You were doing a homeopathic remedy for the oil spill in the Gulf.
Yeah, thank you. I actually went to the Gulf of Mexico last June to do interviews and to collect the seawater myself so I could have a homeopathic laboratory make a remedy for me. And others did not understand why it was so necessary for me to physically go and collect it. And the only way I would know I got the actual water was by doing it myself. And that water was used, and that was when there was oil and corexit contamination. And the remedy was made using that, as well as using a homeopathic petroleum and homeopathic drainage formulas, so that you would not stimulate the immune system to break down these toxins and then have them reabsorbed by the body. The drainage formula combined enables it to be eliminated. The problem is that the problem of contamination has not gone away. People are living there. It's going on a year. The 20th of this month, it will be a year when that tragedy took place, and we have communities of people that are not thinking clearly, that are bleeding internally, that are in respiratory distress, that have ruptured blood vessels visible on their torso, on their skin. The corexit in the air has defatted the skin where they have ulceration, open sores. It is a tragedy that has been allowed to go on that is heartbreaking. It must be cleaned up. People need to be relocated, because I have a wonderful treatment, but if you're taking it and being poisoned at the same time, you can't make progress. They need to get away from the area.
So Robin, with all the sort of, pre-packaged food people are purchasing from supermarkets, how can we get rid of a lot of toxins in our body? What would you recommend?
Sure. I mean, it becomes very expensive to stay alive and be healthy. And that's heartbreaking in itself for many people that I've helped over the years, and there's so much that I can do when the cost is just totally prohibitive, but wherever I can help, I try to help, because it's more important than people get better. That's what it's about, that we help each other. And far infrared saunas will help detox. You have to be very careful that someone doesn't have high blood pressure, where the extreme heat could be an issue. If they have kidney disease, that the extreme heat could be a problem for them. But they're very important detoxing agents. Expensive. You get into doing your research there and you open a whole can of worms about the actual wiring to collect it and the electromagnetic field of that wiring. So you want to make sure it's properly shielded. You can go to clinics. You can steam showers. Anybody can do a steam shower, a bath. I recently interviewed Dr. Gary Gordon, who's considered the father of chelation therapy. He's a brilliant physician in the States. He was the co-founder for the American College for the Advancement of Medicine. He has chelation formulas that you can add to bath water, so we can all afford to take a bath. We might not be able to go for intravenous chelation therapy, but we can afford to add that to our bath water. We can, if we can't afford organic food, we can simplify. People complain about not having time, but the time you'll lose when you are sick or your family members are sick, and the care that will be required will eat up all that time that you thought you gained. So if you can't buy organic, just fresh fruit and vegetables, poultry, basic meats, eggs, if you're so inclined to eat the poultry and the meat. Simplify and make it yourself so you know what you're making. There's an oven where you can bake. You can saute things at low temperature. I'm not a fan of using the microwave. I'm not a fan of cooking at high heat. And I cook. I cook for my dog, and when I am home now, she will be on a raw diet. I have seen too many wondrous examples just recently here in the beautiful Amsterdam area with a dog who is the picture of radiant health. She acts like a puppy. Her name is Figa. Her owner is Robert, and she's radiant, a radiant, healthy dog on a raw diet.
I mean, won't it be a sort of, dramatic change for someone to go from, processed food to raw vegan? Should we read the ingredient label on the packet?
You can go to Google or many other search engines that are available to everyone Everyone works carefully with, everyone has a phone with them. Many phones are Blackberries. You can look this information up. So it gets back to that community issue. You know, we want to know who grows food in our community. We want to support local farmers markets, local people that might have a hen house, have eggs. People can be the member of the community that will grow a certain type of food or have the hen house. But we want to share that information. We want to know who we can count on, who we can turn to when there's a problem. And we're all working to better each other, to change together. And doing these things, perhaps one day a week of having raw food or having salad and simple fish. I believe here in the Netherlands, raw fish is popular, so that you're not adding chemicals, you're not adding heat, you're getting the benefit of the enzymes. And if you can find your produce as well, you can start one day a week, one day a month. You can make it a get-together. If you can't do the whole day, make it one meal. You know, there's always a place to begin, and you can always start the next meal the next day. People get so discouraged if they think, oh, I fell off my plan. You know, what am I going to do? I've messed it up. It's not messed up. That was our light machine going off. It's just the fact that it is time to just get back on track.
And can you sort of give any recommendations for, you know, quitting smoking as well? Can you help with that?
Okay, I know there are many health-conscious people in the UK and England. I've worked closely with the Alliance for Natural Health. Rob Verkerk is the founder of the Alliance for Natural Health, and there is much consciousness about the dangers of tobacco that's been out in the public about why it is harmful. Around the world, people have worked to make sure that you can limit smoking in public places. So to stop smoking, it becomes common sense. You know, put your cigarette out halfway. Put your cigarette out a quarter of the way. Smoke less. Cut back slowly. Don't beat yourself up. That's the bottom line. If you beat yourself up, you set yourself up to fail when you make it too difficult. If it takes you a month where you're only smoking 3/4 of your cigarettes for the amount you smoke every day, then the next month you'll only smoke half a cigarette. The important thing is to do it and to start somewhere. And there's information that was published by Dirk Pearson and Sandy Shaw in the book Life Extension about the importance of vitamin C. Nicotine destroys vitamin C in the body. You need to supplement with more vitamin C, and to do that properly. There are other vitamins as well. The information is available for free. lef.org from the Life Extension Foundation. You can look up ways to help yourself with nutritional supplementation so you won't feel the stress that many encounter when they stop smoking, because it acts as a buffer between them and their environment. So if you have that nutritional support with vitamin Bs and the vitamin C, it makes it a much easier transition to elimination.
Well, Dr. Robin Falkov, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, it has been my pleasure, and I thank you for the important work that you're doing to get the information out so people can make informed choices.
For more information on any of my guests, visit my website, themoreshow.co.uk. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter to get the latest updates on the shows. So until next time, thanks for watching.
If you like what you watch, then don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for the latest updates on The More Show. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for new weekly television and radio shows.